One rape is one too many. One assault is one too many. One aggressive act of harassment is one too many. One person denied due process is one too many. There is no way to avoid the devastating reality of campus sexual misconduct. Lives have been lost. Lives of victims and lives of the accused. And we're here today because the previous administration helped elevate this issue in American public life. But good intentions alone are not enough. Survivors, victims of a lack of due process, and campus administrators have all told me that the current approach does a disservice to everyone involved. Washington has burdened schools with increasingly elaborate and confusing guidelines that even lawyers find difficult to understand and navigate. Where does that leave institutions, which are forced to be judge and jury? Where does that leave parents? Where does that leave students? Some suggest that this current system, while imperfect, at least protects survivors and thus must remain untouched. But the reality is, it doesn't even do that. Survivors aren't well served when they are re-traumatized with appeal after appeal because the failed system failed the accused. And no student should be forced to sue their way to due process. The Office for Civil Rights has terrified schools, one said. Another said that no school feels comfortable calling the department for simple advice, for fear of putting themselves on the radar and inviting an investigation. Every survivor of sexual misconduct must be taken seriously. Every student accused of sexual misconduct must know that guilt is not predetermined. This conversation has too often been framed as a contest between men and women, or the rights of sexual misconduct survivors and the due process rights of accused students. The reality is, however, a different picture. There are men and women, boys and girls who are survivors, and there are men and women, boys and girls who are wrongfully accused. The notion that a school must diminish due process rights to better serve the victim only creates more victims. A better way is also being more precise in the definition of sexual misconduct. If everything is harassment, then nothing is. A better way is ultimately about recognizing that schools exist first and foremost to educate. While a Title IX complaint is pending, schools usually make academic accommodations such as adjusting schedules, changing dorm assignments, and postponing papers or exams. But there is a fundamental difference between making these sorts of accommodations for accusers and schools which seek to punish the accused before a fair decision has been rendered. Our interest is in exploring all alternatives that would help schools meet their Title IX obligations and protect all students. We welcome input, and we look forward to hearing more ideas.